GoPlay founder and CEO, esports coach at the Southern University Lab, and gamer. Discussions on the emergence of esports at the K-12, collegiate, and professional level. Let's go! Let's go play.
This is Christopher Turner. This is your host of Go Play Esports Podcast. Like I said before, we're back with another one. We're going to be all this summer, man. I have a little bit more time on my schedule, so I'm going to give it to the fans and give it to people who follow esports in a major way. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're live right now on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Today's guest I have Famous Enough. If you don't know him, you're going to get to know him today on this episode. Let's get into Control. If you've been following me for a while, you know what Control is. I'm going to play a quick commercial, and then we're going to get into this interview with Famous Enough, man. Can't wait to do it.
90% of people love statistics. We don't have any data to support that, so you'll just have to take our word for it. Control contains prebiotic fiber, the stuff that promotes healthy gut bacteria. Unlike unhealthy gut bacteria, it's healthy. It also contains digestive enzymes. They promote healthy digestion. You're probably starting to recognize a trend here. You know what else are healthy? Branched-chain amino acids. They support muscle growth and amp up your exercise performance. And MCTs help to control your appetite. 5 grams of fiber, 23 grams of protein, 22 vitamins and minerals, plus it's made with real pieces of cereal. Control. Statistically awesome.
Go to drinkcontrol.com right now. Use our code. It's GoPlayES. That's GEAUX. Play ES. So it's a meal replacement. I'm telling you, you need to try it. It's the best thing ever. If you're a big cereal fan, they got all kind of different flavors, man. So please go to drinkcontrol.com. Use our code to get 10% off. All right, I'm going to bring Famous Enough into the fold, man. Introduce him to the show. What's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? I feel good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Blessed, man. Good to have you on board with us, man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of get into it, like get straight to it, man. I only do a 30-minute podcast, man, so we can kind of keep people at bay. Like, tell the listeners, like, who you are, man. Like, you know, before we get into the heat.
Yeah, so my name is Derric Franklin. I go by Famous Enough. I come from the 2K community. I am the general manager and head coach for Heat Check Gaming. Heat Check Gaming is basically an NBA 2K League affiliate that's owned by the Miami Heat. So I'm inside the Miami Heat facilities all the time. Well, not right now because like the COVID and everything like that. So, but for the most part, I am inside there most of the time. My guys play in the last season. My guys, we played in the arena and one of the locker rooms that's at the Heat facility. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Nah, for sure, man. And you know, I want to kind of get into like your military background. And before we get into that, man, thank you for your service, man. I want to dive into like what was those first processes like getting on 2K and like knowing that, you know, you're nice enough to play in pro-ams and being a head coach.
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned the military because that's where all of this, that's like my path started to this, right? I was deployed in Afghanistan, Kandahar, Afghanistan, and there's this awesome group called the USO that provides different gaming systems, computers, and movies, all kind of stuff for deployed people. And they had a center set up in Kandahar, Afghanistan, where you go there, you call home, and this, that, and the third. One day I went in there and they had the newest 2K, and I had previously played 2K before, but not really sort of thing. So I started playing it or whatever, and I started realizing that I was good at the game. At this time, I was just playing like quick match and play now type of thing. And when I ended up making a player while I was in Kandahar, and the player name was like Rush Snow. This was back in 2014. 2014. The player name was Russ Snow and had this big purple afro, and I didn't know how to change the name. As you see, the purple afro is like right here behind me.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know how to change the name. I didn't know how to change the hair color. I didn't know how to change the hairstyle and nothing like that. So I just left it as it was. When I got back home, I started playing 2K more and getting into like my career part of it, and realizing that I was good. And long story short, I kind of entrenched myself into this new community where there was the pro-am scene because it was a new mode on 2K16. Around that time or whatever was when that 2K came out with the road to the finals in 2K17. These guys played this game crazy amounts of time, and the only people that got recognized was the team that won, but the recognitions was little and far beyond. So what I decided to do was create Famous Enough. The Famous Enough thing, I got away from the Russ Snow name. I just wanted to create something that was separate, something that was new, something that nobody knew anything about. And it was basically going to be about me promoting players and teams on this game mode. When it came to that, I had no clue what I was doing at the time. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just figured I was going to promote players because I feel like players weren't getting enough recognition for the amount of time that they put on the game. Now, keep in mind, I competed in this road to the finals qualifications on 2K17, and the qualifications was it was tough. It was 12-hour days every Saturday and Sunday for about 12 weeks straight. And when you put in that amount of time and you don't get no recognition for the amount of time you put in was tough. So that's why I came up with this Famous Enough thing. 2K 2018, 2017 rather is when they came out with they announced that the NBA and Take-Two was joining forces to create this NBA 2K League. At the time, I was just thinking I want to create content around it because I was doing YouTube with this Famous Enough stuff. I was doing something called Pro-Am Sports Centers where I had this big Sports Center look to it, right? And the players loved it, and they was playing, and they was playing to the point where they wanted to be on this Sports Center broadcast that I was putting out. And so when the league announced that they was doing this 2K League, only thing on line was like, oh my God, I'll be able to create more content around this. I'll be able to push this Pro Sports Center thing. I'll be able to get more followers on YouTube doing this. As time went along, I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this. So I started applying for jobs with different NBA teams for these positions. I got a lot of no's, a whole bunch of no's until it came where the Miami Heat actually contacted me on Twitter saying that they wanted to interview me. I went through an interview process that lasted. I did 3 interviews in 4 days. When it comes to NBA teams, that's unheard of. It's unheard of to do that many interviews in such a short amount of time. That you would usually take about 3 to 4 months, maybe 6 months to get to that point. On the 4th interview, they ended up hiring me over the phone. They was like, we don't normally do this, but we feel good about this. Hire me over the phone. A week later, they flew me out to Miami. I was living in Indiana at the time, going to school. They flew me out to Miami. So you can just imagine, Indiana, Miami, big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference. When I got to Miami, I was blown away at how beautiful Miami looked at the time. I had never been to Miami, and I was blown away about how it looked. I shot a quick intro video while I was there for the 2 days I was out in Miami. I went back to Indiana. This was in January 2018. I want to say around January 21st, somewhere around there. I went back to Indiana. They called me about a couple weeks later. They gave me my date to move to Miami. February 22nd, I moved to Miami. And February 22nd of 2018, I moved to Miami, and I haven't been back to Indiana since.
Yeah. So you touched on some things, man, and it's crazy how stuff is just like happening for you, man. And I'm a strong believer in like working diligent and reaping what you're sowing, right?
Yeah.
So like, can you go into depth about what that grind was like? Like, had you ever like created content before? Like, I know you have a big following. You had a big following. You still do. Before you got the Miami Heat job, and like, tell them, like, I want you to kind of go in depth about what that pro-am grind is too.
That grind was like nothing I have done before. At the time, I had never created content. I had never made YouTube videos. I had never did any of that. I had no clue what I was getting myself into. I just knew I just knew that I wanted to push pro-am players to get more recognition, but I had no clue what that entailed. I had no clue amount of hours I was going to take. So at the time, I was working and I was going to school, and so on top of that, I was pushing this famous enough thing. So I was buying to doing this pro thing. I was about 15 to 18 hours a day flat that I was pushing this. When I was at school, I was pushing it, and when I was at work, I was pushing it. And it's so crazy that I worked at an airport, right, a private airport that private planes flew into, right, that people own, and it was so crazy but my boss was in tune with what I was doing. So when I started doing all these interviews with these teams, he was like, "Hey, if you need to use my office to do these interviews while you're on the flight, just let me know." And I did so many interviews in my boss's office while I was on the clock. You know, I would go from fueling the plane, smelling like jet fuel.
Yeah.
And I would go into his office, get on the phone, and do an interview for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then go back outside and continue working. So like I was really pushing this to the fullest extent. And the crazy part about it, when I started Famous Enough, there was no end game for me. There was no league available. The league was not announced when I started doing this. I just was doing it from my love for it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the players at the time, that's what they respected more about it, because they figured they knew that I wasn't getting paid nothing for the amount of work I was putting in.
For sure.
But they respected it, and they loved it, and you know, they kind of like accepted me as the person, the go-to person for content when it came to the pro-am. You know, my girlfriend at the time, she definitely didn't like it. You know, because at the time when I first started, I was playing the game and I was doing the Famous Enough thing, and she was like, you got to pick one. You can't do both of them because it's just taking away too much time.
Taking my time.
Yeah, facts. That's what she was looking at. She was like, it's taking away time from me. And so I ultimately ended up choosing the latter route, which, you know, at the time it offered me nothing. You know, it offered me nothing. When I was playing the game, I got the joy of playing. I got the joy of winning and stuff like that. But when it came to me doing Famous Enough, my joy was making sure that the players were getting the recognition. So yeah, that was my joy. And at the time, so you know, the grind is serious. You never know what you're meant to do until you actually start doing it. And once I started doing it, I felt like, you know, I had found my calling.
Nah, for sure, man. I think definitely is your calling, man. And speaking on it being your calling, like, what was that feeling like to finally know that you were going to Miami, man? I've done my research, so I'm a girl dad too, man. So I have two daughters. What was that feeling like, knowing that you were gonna be like in the same state as her, like close? You know, it wasn't just like, you know, sending money. Like, what was that feeling all about, man? Because I know families is real important to you. Seems like.
So me and my daughter's mom, we were married when I was in the Army. Towards the tail end of my Army career, you know, we ended up going through a divorce, and she ended up moving. We was living out in Kansas at the time. I'm from Houston. I was stationed in Kansas, and that's where I was doing my duty at for the Army. And so once we started going through this divorce, she ended up moving back to Tampa, Florida, where her parents are at. And so once I got out the military, I moved to Houston, and I would literally drive back and forth from Houston to Tampa to pick my daughter up on several occasions, whether it came was a spring break, the summertime, you know, her Christmas break, you know, during her birthday. I was doing back and forth driving. This was a 15-hour drive there, 15-hour drive back. So I was putting hours in, you know, and during that time, you know, I was financially stable then. But when I moved to Indiana to go to school, is when you know, that financial stability just kind of went out the window. And so I was going to pick her up all the time, and you know, still giving her mom money to take care of her, to me just giving her mom to take care of her, just because, you know, I couldn't afford to be driving back and forth at that time. So when the Miami Heat called me and told me, gave me this job offer, I was like, oh my God, this was like God's will. They're putting me so close to my daughter. And in retrospect, the Miami Heat has done so much for me and my daughter. They flew her out for Father's Day, surprised me on Father's Day with her. They my daughter, her grandmother rather, were in town in Miami one day during my birthday, and they allowed my daughter to come up to surprise me at the arena for my birthday, and so much crazy stuff, man. So it felt great. It felt great, and it still feels great to this day that I'm so close to my daughter, opposed to I'm 3 hours away now compared to 15 hours before.
Yeah, it's a big difference, man. Yay, not gamers watching, man. He told me to tell you that you the GOAT, man.
No, that's all. Yay took my ring.
Yeah, he did, man. So like, it's funny that you brought that up. Let's talk about that, man. You talking about season 1, man. What was the takeaways from that, man?
The experience was crazy. When I went into this, I was always telling myself that I'm such a people person that when I got in, it wasn't about me. It was about the people behind me. I was kept telling myself that I have to do well so other people from the community can get the same opportunities as me. And I think that season 1 early on, I put so much stress on me on doing well that I wasn't thinking about myself or other things that like depression and stuff like that, because this is a very, very, very depressing type job. This is a stressful job, man. And I started the season off really slow, and I kept telling myself, "Oh my God, the Kurtz and the LTs and the comps, and these guys won't get a chance if I fail." Then we end up turning the season around and going on a 5-game win streak, and then we make it all the way to the finals, and we play against the Knicks. And lo and behold, when we play against the Knicks, I play against another person from the community, which is the coach of the Knicks is Kyle Rudy. So I was like, this is perfect for everybody that's in the community, that we're showing that we can do this job, and we can excel at this job. And that's when, and hopefully in my mind at the time, I was thinking hopefully that everybody else get a chance from the community, so that because we've proven that what we could do. That the season 1 finals was crazy. It was the most electric feeling I've ever felt in my life when it came to like the people, the fans that was there cheering. So many Miami Heat people flew up rather to New York for the game, and the Knicks had their fans and we had our fans. It's crazy feeling in that building that day.
Yeah, man, and you mentioned something like I know that you're the first African American GM and head coach in the league, and you saying that you felt that pressure on you, man. Like, what was that process? Knowing that you started the season off slow. You mentioned like making it to the finals and opening that door to usher others in. Like, was that your mindset from the start? Or did you kind of get that feeling like towards the middle of the season, like, man, I gotta overachieve?
I had that feeling from the start, because LT and Kurt, Kurt is the GM for Mavs game. I mean, Kurt is the GM
for the Nets.
For the Nets, and LT is the coach for Mavs gaming. I got to switch because I said LT first name. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they was like special advisors to the Bucks in season 1, and they were at the draft, and I was kicking them, hanging out with them leading up to the draft and during the draft or after the draft and stuff like that. And I knew that they belonged. I knew that they belonged here. And my grind was for season 1 it wasn't about, like I said, it wasn't about me. It was about making sure that I get others in. And you put so much stress on yourself when you do stuff like that. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, and that's what I did. Yeah. It was nothing but pressure on me, and I placed that pressure on myself. And I wanted that pressure because I knew that if I did well, like I said, that these guys will get in.
Yeah, and definitely, man. Those are some of the most talked about GMs and head coaches in the league. So, like, walk us through the process of, like, being able to draft these individuals year in and year out, giving them an opportunity, opening the door for those players. I know it's about wins and losses. I know it's about analytics and getting the right chemistry and the team together. To the ultimate goal is to win. But what is that feeling of like, I'm really helping somebody that put in the work?
If you go back and watch my some footage from like my season 1 draft, and you see me breathing hot shot after I draft him, it's a chance time where we about to he feel like we about to do a handshake, but I embrace him with a hug. And what's not seen right there is that I have like these tears in my eyes, because he's very emotional at the time, and then I just made my first pick of my career, and it's a life-changing moment for not only me but for him as well. And with me getting to meet Hot Shot and know his family, with him being from Miami, and all that he does is for his family, and the opportunity that the league provided for him to provide for his family, it's life changing, man. It's life changing. Like these moments are forever. They don't go away. You give these young guys and these young women a time to change everything about them. I'm from the hood. I'm never supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. And I will forever say that. You find a way to make it out, and you try to stay out of from where you came from. You love where you're from, but you want to stay out from that position that you were in before. And that's what these opportunities are when you go through these drafts with these players that you're going to change their life, and you're going to change their life for the better. Now, when it comes to drafting and the chemistry and all this other stuff, it's a lot that goes into it. We're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9 months worth of work. During the season, I'm already looking at players that's playing at the time just to get a jump start on my draft board, because I know how long and stressful that the process is for me. So I try to get a jump start on it. You're going to always feel like coming out of a draft, you're going to always feel like you had the perfect draft. You're never going to know how good that draft is going to be until the first time you play your team play. And that's going to tell you a whole lot about the team. And that's going to tell you about, how somebody takes a win, how somebody takes losses, because everybody can win. Everybody can win. So players got to be able to take losses and accept those losses and carry on about it. So you're gonna know a lot about your team after that. And like I said, you can never have a perfect draft. You're gonna feel like you have a perfect draft, but no draft is ever perfect. And that's where I'm at.
Dope, man. And so, like, I know, the tournament just wrapped up, and we're probably about to get into regular season play, man. Like, what are your highlight moments? Like, what are you looking for towards this season?
I'm just looking for us to make the playoffs this year. Whatever past that is great. We went to the finals in season 1. Last two years we didn't make the playoffs at all. So now I'm trying to get back. After season 1, after we make the finals in season 1, going to season 2, we start off slow, and I'm like, I gotta make a move, because we gotta get back. And this is one of those grinds that you gotta realize that you can't rush it. The pieces gotta make sense. The players gotta make sense. Everything gotta make sense. Like, it's never gonna be go to finals this year, then you're going to automatically go to the finals next year. It's not like that. Every team in this league is good. Every player in this league is good. So you got to take it week by week. And that's what I'm learning. That's what I've learned over time. So season 4, I'm super, super patient this year about how I do things. I'm super patient with my player. Trust me, if you had one on your team, you will realize that you have to be patient. You have to be patient. So I'm super patient with my guys this year. I, of course, tell them a piece of my mind and how I feel. But in the same sense, I try to let them know that the lessons that I'm teaching you are goes past 2K. I'm giving you life lessons, because I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, and I've seen a lot. And I'm just trying to give these guys more than just 2K when it comes to being their coach.
Nah, for sure, man. I think that's how we create that pipeline, man, and continue the culture going, a good culture going within the community. So, like, with all the moves, I ask you this question, and then we can kind of wrap up and I'm gonna give you your time to, shout out with whoever you want to shout out and whatever platforms you got going on. But with all the movement within the pro-am leagues right now, and the whole unified association, what are your thoughts behind that? As far as like from an organization standpoint and filtering like the best players through.
So I had created Prestige Area, which was a tournament platform that I had put out, and I've ran tournaments before back in the day, but running tournaments now with these players, it is stressful. I had to give it up. I had to give it up and leave that to those professionals like WR, MPBA, and stuff like that because it's stressful. Because like you said, the amount of movement that's in the pro community right now is a lot. It's a lot. Player going from this team to this team, mid tournament, they switching teams here. It's a lot going on, and it's just too much for me to deal with and try to keep up with as far as the tournament side. But when it comes to just being somebody that watches it, it is what it is when it comes to the movement. I just try to keep up with the players and realize, that they're trying to do what's best for them when it comes to bettering their draft chances and things of that nature. So it is what it is. Unified Pro-Am Association was one of those things that was great. I can't wait to see what those guys do when it comes to the tournament that they have coming up on 4th of July weekend. Week. I don't know what day for. Like my days are like running together, so I have no idea what day 4th of July actually fall on. But I know they have a 2-day tournament, in-person tournament. So I can't wait to see that. Players got to do what's best for them. That's what I always say. Some players have that feeling where they have to stay with the people that they came up with. Some players have that mindset where they got to get on the best team available. You do what's best for you, and you just live with the results. Whether a team is going to, whether the NBA 2K League team is going to knock you for that or not, that's on that team. That's on that team. I personally don't care what you do. Just be the best player that you can be and go forward. That's really all I got to say about that.
For sure, man. So, like I told you before, man, people don't know, man. Fame has actually reached out to me, man, saw what I've been doing. And asked me if I ever wanted, I needed anything, man. So I appreciate you being, real, man, and being reachable and being accessible, man. And the first thing I asked for him to come up here and share his story, man. I think it's really important.
The first thing he asked me for.
Yeah. It's man, I love what you're doing, man. I followed you from the beginning, man. As far as your content, man, it helped me along the way, man. Because you're real open. As far as like you struggling with like wire management, like getting new cameras, like that's stuff that we need to see on the collegiate and high school side of things, man. Because it's got a lot of educators out here, man, that don't understand what esports is or what gaming is, man. So, you building that type of content really helps, man. So I'm gonna let you plug away, man. Tell them how they can reach you on social, Twitter, and wherever else, man.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything of those three are you famous enough on Twitch. I'm just famous. I'm famous enough on Twitch. Heat Check Gaming is my team, and there's Heat Check Gaming on every single social. Shout out to everybody that came before me. Shout out to everybody that's gonna come after me. I'm just trying to make it better for y'all.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on, man. And like I said, man, it won't be the last time, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Everybody that was famous enough, Heat Check Gaming, man, make sure y'all tune into the 2K League. Make sure that y'all watching, man. It's going to be real. Man, our new sponsor, Kovacs. Kovacs is a first-person shooter trainer. I'm going to give away a code. Anybody that DMs me first on Twitter at GoPlayES. That's Go Play, GEAUX, Play, PLAYES. I will give you a code today. Mention this episode. First person to DM me gets a code. I'm telling you, man, you can get custom trainings for Fortnite, Call of Duty, any first-person shooter you could think of, Overwatch, Apex, Valorant. It's an awesome trainer, man. All my PC players hit me up. I'm gonna go into a cutscene, man, and show you how good it's made me, man. Like I said, all my first-person shooter players, man, hit me up. If you would like a free code for Kovacs, hit me up now, man. It's going to develop you. It's going to make you a better shooter, a better player overall. Trust me. You just saw the highlights, people. So it's been a good episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the show. And this is your host, Christopher Turner, signing out. You know what I always say, go play esports.